Hey kids, how you doing? Comic Book Man back once again with 2 comic book reviews with
Sweet Dan Sweet.
who you can see, or not see, but read on the store's website, www.myalternatereality.com. Dan posts up a new review just about every day. One of the books we're going to talk about today are Trinity number 50, which is
Yeah.
2 issues before the end. Trinity number 50. Now, what did you think of Trinity? I know that Dan reviewed Trinity 43, I think it was, earlier, and he thought it sucked. Is this any better?
Yeah, I slammed Trinity a few weeks ago. This is kind of more the culmination of everything that you've read in Trinity up till now. It's the first issue I've noticed by Busiek and Bagley all the way through without any short stories or backups behind it. Ever wonder what happens when a supervillain gets to his ultimate goal of destroying the universe and he's this omnipotent being and he just... there's nothing else around and he's trying to figure out what to do next? That's what this book's all about. Chrono, who was the bad guy in the Avengers JLA crossover from a few years ago, has been around for a long time. He's always wanted to destroy everything in his path, and his ultimate goal is knowledge. He wants to know what makes the universe what it is, what is ultimate power, and where does it come from. And he gets the answer, and he doesn't like it. It's really kind of like, I don't want to say anticlimactic, but it would be to him. You know what I mean? It's him. It's these two cosmic beings having a long conversation, and it's really deep, and you don't get a lot of insight into what the villain's point of view or what the villain wants all the time. And in this, it's kind of like the icing on the cake is he gets laughed at in the end. There's nothing there for him. He's floating in space, and the Trinity, the deity-like beings of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, which I made fun of last time, played a role, and it made sense, and I'll have to eat my hat if I was wearing one. I can eat his hat, maybe. But it made sense, and ultimately, if I had given it a chance, or maybe now that I can see what the finished product is, I'll take back some of the bad things I said. I still don't like Trinity. I'm still glad to see it go. But this was a good issue. This was a solid issue of Trinity that you could have picked up without reading everything beforehand, because I didn't, and get it. And if you look at it for what it is, it's an interesting take.
I made a point of putting this in Dan's hands, not because I think Trinity is a great series, but because I thought that the first 2/3 of it, the last third of it is kind of dumb.
Sketchy.
It's kind of dumb. But the first 2/3 of it I thought was really good because it does do this. The whole book is this existential argument about what happens when the bad guy finally gets his way and he destroys everything. And, ultimately you wind up saying to yourself, what the hell's the point behind all this? Now that I've done all this, now what? And what's the third act? What do I do now?
Everybody wonders.
There's nothing.
And Busiek comes up and he gives you some answers, and it's cool. I gotta admit, it's cool.
Okay. So, okay.
Pick it up.
Okay. Second up is Umbrella Academy by what's
Gerard Way, lead
Gerard
singer
Way.
of My Chemical Romance, and Gabriel Ba, who is...
Which means nothing to me.
Gabriel Ba is brothers with the other artist, Fabio Moon, who does a lot of great work.
Ba and Moon.
Yeah, Ba. Counting sheep when you go to sleep. Here's the deal. I'm really tired of seeing celebrities write comics and getting in the door in comics simply because they're writers. Movie guys like Damon Lindelof and
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith especially, you're a jerk. You never finished Daredevil Bullseye Target. Here's the deal. Gerard Way is a singer. He's a rock star. He's not supposed to be good at writing comics. However, I've never found myself more engrossed in a universe I haven't been familiar with since I was a kid ever before. Umbrella Academy is the #1 gem that if you're not reading, you need to go out and pick it up if you're a fan of superhero genre, superhero science fiction, I should say. So many original ideas and cool stuff that even if you've seen it before is done in such a cool way. This issue is the end of the second series. They did a 6-part series before. This is the 6th issue of the second one. It deals with number 5, because all the kids have numbers as opposed to names, attempting to go back in time and halt his past self from killing John F. Kennedy. And the funny thing is, his current self is a little kid and his past self is an old man. Don't ask me. It's really deep. But there's awesome characters. Space Boy is a kid in a gorilla suit from the future. Kraken is the Wolverine of the team almost, just the wild card. Rumor, it tells you, I heard a rumor that the back of your head is going to explode. That's her power. The back of your head explodes. It's totally cool. Like, it's out there, it's trippy, and yet it's grounded in a reality somewhere, not here. But I like it. I think not enough people are buying this book that aren't fans of My Chemical Romance. Thing sells like hotcakes. I'm missing number 4 from the first series. I can't find it anywhere. You can't keep the book on the shelves because everybody outside of comics is coming in, and I like that. You know what I mean? People, anything that brings new readers into comics, I'm a fan of, especially something as good as this, dude.
It sounds like some of the goofy stuff that Grant Morrison was writing with Doom Patrol a couple of years back for Vertigo, or that Pete Milligan was writing for Shade the Changing Man a couple of years back at Vertigo also.
Yeah, you know what?
It sounds sort of like that.
A lot of it is probably deeply rooted in the comics he read as a kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The out there stuff that was going on in the 80s. 90s. And he's bringing it back. He's bringing it back really strong, and I hope this series continues. And it's really funny because it's not inspired by him, like the one from the guy from Heroes, Berserker. Yeah. It's actually written by him, and dude, it's good. Like, he can write.
Well, you're talking about before about guys who come in from the outside to write comics. The thing that works with that is some of these people come in with a different point of view. They haven't been writing comics all the time. The guy that writes Lost, who did the
Ultimate Hulk
Wolverine thing. Some of these folks, like Kevin Smith when he first started doing that stuff, they come in with a different point of view, and that's why their stuff is interesting, because they aren't locked into the mindset of this character has to be done this way, and that's the only way you can do this character. And so it was and is, like this, what you're saying, a refreshing breath of fresh air, because it does come off as being something different.
Yeah, it's not stale. It's just a lot. The art is fantastic. Gabriel Ba creates characters that are cartoony and yet very, very threatening. It's really weird. There's these two people, Hazel and Cha-Cha, assassins that run around with giant stuffed animal heads on in business suits, and they're the most vile, vicious guys I've ever seen. But they're presented in this cartoony, comical way, and yet the violence isn't supposed to be laughed at. It's not funny. And it's a gruesome book. It's really good stuff, though. I can't recommend it enough. People need to be buying it.
So pick up this. And
pick
up this when you get a chance. You can read both of these reviews on www.myalternatereality.com. And until next time, bye!